Hello, everybody. Yes, I'm a little early. And the reason for that is I messed up. I messed up. The store that I was going to go live from today is not open today. They are open next Sunday. So I'm going to do live thrifting next Sunday. So I thought I would just come in here and hang out with you guys for a little bit because I messed up. Come on, I can't be alone. You get an email you're really excited about, like, oh, they're open on Sunday. That's a great place to go live from. And then you realize that you saw the date wrong. That would be me. That would be me doing that today. And I do have I have a video. It's not quite ready to come out, but I didn't think that Super Bowl Sunday was a really good day to put out a video, which is why I was just going to go live today. For those of you who are, I know it's before the game. I was going to go live, but still, it's kind of a weird day. Parties and get-togethers and family, and it wasn't a great day to put out a video. So I'm like, I'll just go live. But you do that stuff all the time, Susan. So here we are. So that video will come out tomorrow. I just think that's better. I thought when I'm putting out a video, I have to think about what's best for the YouTube algorithm and what's going to be best to get the most views. Like, I messed up my last video by putting it out really early, and YouTube didn't like that. And so that video never really got a lot of, I don't know what the word is, traction, shall we say. It's a strange thing. It's a very complicated, complex thing, this whole YouTube algorithm thing, and trying to maximize, the amount of people. I've got my fans here, that you guys, that you show up, you're always here for my lives and you watch the videos. And then to grow a channel, you have to reach new people. And that's where all of that comes into play. Exposure. Maybe that's a good word. Hello, Dawn. I heard that there is a vicious storm coming back east. And I don't relish you guys that are in that. I don't have someplace else. The problem is I can't go to the Goodwills or the Savers or any of that because their music is ferociously loud. I could get, all kinds of copyright issues. And that's why I have a couple different stores that I can go to live. Raining today, but not bad. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm going to have to get some more stores on my lineup, that are either willing to turn the music down or don't have big loud music playing. But that's kind of my issue. Not on Sunday. Now, well, we're hosting the Super Bowl this year. So Vegas is pretty much all about that today. There's a lot of places that aren't even open today. There's places closing early. This is a Super Bowl centric kind of town today. It's not a day you would want to go anywhere near the Strip if you were a local, unless you had your $8,000 tickets. They even have, they've been showing that the parking for the private planes is full. No more parking for private planes coming in today, at least at the main airport. There might be some at the little, private airports, but holy smokers. Yes. Yeah, which means Taylor Swift is in town. What happened to your auction? Vegas Mama, what are you referring to? Yes, I misread the date on the live thrifting for today. If you're just coming in, yes, the store is not open. I went to go pull into the parking lot and it was all closed up because I don't know why I read that date wrong. I got all excited when I saw they were going to be open on Sunday. It's a store that's not usually open on Sundays. They open on Sundays once a month. And yeah, I need to read better. I need to be more detail oriented, I guess. Super Bowl day is the same as a holiday. Yeah, right? Now I must tell you, I saw JDA sit there and say, "Go Chiefs." I gotta root for the 49ers, guys. I gotta do it. My future son-in-law is a 49ers fan, so I've gotta stay true to family here. I don't really care though. Oh, Vegas Mama, some things have changed. Some things have changed. I'm going to do a complete update on everything to do with the good stuff later in the week. That is coming soon. Things are still changing as we go. I know lots of Chiefs fans. Lots of Chiefs fans. You say the 49ers are going to win? I don't even know what the sports books are saying. In flux. That is a good term for it. How about visiting Dollar Tree? I don't think that would be very exciting, would it? On to bigger and better. Yeah, I'm calling this the closure of a chapter. I'm in the final pages of a long chapter of a book, and that chapter will be closing and a new one opening very, very soon. But it's been a crazy month. So it's been a crazy year so far. I mean, a lot of people don't understand the inner workings of opening a business, running a business, and closing a business. Closing a business is not just you just close the doors and it all goes away. There is so much that has to be tended to, all of the legal stuff that has to be buttoned up, all of the tax stuff that has to be taken care of, all of that. So I've been really juggling, trying to keep up with everything that I have to do to keep my income flowing and dealing with getting that store emptied and closed. That's so sweet of you, Christina. I appreciate that. I know you would. But we'll just hang out here. I'm in front of some apartment buildings. I think I'm pretty safe. I don't know. I's dotted and T's crossed. That's pretty much what it is. Yeah. In fact, when I get done here, I am going to U-Haul and working on getting some more things. So, because the auction that I was going to be doing has been canceled, there were some issues with the auction house. They were, let's just say, they were dragging their feet, and they were not going to get this done in the time frame that I needed it done. And it was going to cost me thousands of dollars. So we've skipped to plan B. So I'm going to be doing a lot of unboxing sales, probably over on the Knit Shopping Network. Be watching for that. For those that don't know, I had emptied my personal storage units into the store. After the store closed to the public, I emptied my storage units into the store. And I thought, I've got plenty of time to deal with this. And then it was presented to me that I could vacate the building and get out of owing the landlord thousands of dollars. So I chose that route. But now I had a lot of stuff to get through and a lot of stuff to sort. And that's been going on. And I've had some amazing friends coming in and helping and sorting. And if you are a local reseller, I will make the offer. If you would like some free inventory in exchange for coming and helping me just pack up some stuff, hit me up. Send me a message. Send an email, thenichелady@gmail.com, or if you're on Facebook, send me a message. I am located, as you know, in it's not really North Vegas. It's on North Decatur. So if you can make it there and you want some free stuff, like right now, I'm in empty the building mode. That's where we're at. Empty the building. Idaho Gem's about to walk to church. Isn't it cold? It was really cold here this morning. There's an issue now with I have a commercial grade power strip on Goody's pond, and there's 2 heaters and 2 pumps plugged into that, running that pond. And woke up this morning and it was all off. And it looked to me like somebody had turned it off because it was like the little switch had flipped off. I'm like, oh, that's not good. And the water was very, very cold. It got down to 42-degree water, which a turtle can handle, but it sends them into brumation. And we don't want Goody going into brumation. We want Woody to stay awake. So her water is kept at a nice toasty 75 degrees. So we pulled her out, pulled her in the house to get warm. 31 degrees. That is just too cold. Well, thank you, Mary. Welcome to the Niche Nation. So operation, figure out what's going on with the turtle pond, get it turned back on, and it flipped again. So we're thinking possibly some as what do you call it? Condensation dew dripped onto it and shorted it, and made it turn off, because now it's been running fine for hours and the water's all warmed back up and she's back in the pond. So we have to keep a close eye on that. And I'm going to have to figure out how to better waterproof the electrical portion. I really can't wait to build a proper pond like that doesn't have these issues. All the electrical would be through conduit and wired into the house and all of that. So that is on the list of things I want to get done this year, because but it's all a work in progress. All a work in progress. Oh, Ruth over on Facebook says, been there, done that with a store. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But it's actually been really cool to get through all that stuff that was in my storage. It kind of forced me to stop paying for storage, get through this. I have given away a ton of stuff, and I intend to give away a bunch more, donate a bunch more. I have sold a lot of my fixtures and stuff much cheaper than I had thought that I would ever be willing to do. But then, my brain started thinking, well, you were going to send them through an auction, and then you were going to split that with an auction house. So just move this stuff quickly, just get it out of there. B2B, business to business, helping other businesses that's the way I look at it. It's like I'm helping another small business by providing things that they need for their business that is either opening or still open and needs things. And I've made some really cool connections with some other business owners in Vegas, which is pretty cool too. No time, Parker, there's no time. And I can't be open to the public at all. I did not renew my business license, so therefore I am no longer able to sell to the public. That is a requirement. Did I not do that? Yeah, I mean that would have been optimal had there, been time and ability to do that. Having a brick and mortar and being under city permits and licensing and all that, there's a lot of rules to follow. There's a lot of rules to follow. And it's a little distressing right now. Like, there's some people saying that I never had a business license, which is not true. I just didn't renew it. I didn't renew it because the store was closing. And I was working with the city on that. They were fully aware. They knew when I was closing. And they just said, no more business after you're closed. So I'm like, yeah, no more. So that is what that is all about. My store, yes. My store, basically I'm going back to just online. I'm going back to online. I'm doing like the live thrifting things for other small nonprofits. Although Assistance League isn't super small, but they are on the smaller side. They're definitely not like Goodwill sized. Dog Junkies, a Home for Spot. I'm going to connect with some of the others here in town because it brings them business, and that way I can still be supportive of the nonprofit community. I have a place in my heart for nonprofits, especially small ones, because having gone through the process to um, try to start a nonprofit myself and seeing all that is involved and the work involved, and I help a friend with a nonprofit out in Pahrump. It's near and dear to my heart because people who start nonprofits are passionate about whatever mission they are trying to accomplish. A nonprofit has to have a mission statement. That's how you determine if they're a nonprofit or not. The funds need to go to support that mission. So let's say if it's a dog rescue or a horse rescue, or say like Ava's Avengers was one of the nonprofits associated with the Good Stuff Thrift Store. They help families with children that are going through medical treatments and don't have the funds to, how sometimes you have to go to like a specialty hospital and you have to travel to a different state, a different city, whatever where that specialty is. Well, it requires money to stay in a hotel and be close to your child, and all. So they support that. And they're passionate about that because of having a daughter where they went through that. So it was started. It's just that passion for something that you are feeling very strongly about. So I want to use my influence that I have gained here on this thing we call the World Wide Web in a good way, and to bring awareness to them and help people find them, because it's like connecting. Some of you watching may go, oh my gosh, yeah, I know a family who's going through that right now. Well, now you could connect them with a nonprofit that raises money to help those families. Or if you're passionate about doggies and, a home for Spot, you can connect somebody with, hey, they need fosters, they need adopters, all that stuff. So that's what it's all about. Yeah. Nope, I can't, Diane. No, and there literally is no time. I will be out of that building this week. Try moving the large power strip to an area inside. Can't. There's no way to move it inside without attaching it to another extension cord. Because the stuff has to be plugged into it that's attached to the pond. I'm going back and reading comments, seeing if I missed anything. Actually, Noni's Treasure House, I am considering opening up a booth again. I love merchandising. I love retail. I love tinkering around in a space. And I will miss that. So I really, really am leaning towards that. I haven't decided which one I want to go to yet. But I'm definitely thinking of doing that. Definitely thinking of doing that. Hello in Puerto Rico. I bet you're having better weather than all of us here in the United States. I know, once a shop girl, always a shop girl. Yeah, my heart is in. I've told you guys my story of my first marriage, haven't I? It's in the blood. I'm telling you, it's in the blood. So when I was in high school, I walked to school, and I would walk past the 7-Eleven, and I would go in the 7-Eleven and get a little something in the mornings. And there was a guy who was the cashier, and I would flirt with him, and he would flirt with me. And his parents owned the 7-Eleven, and I'm like, ooh, that's cool. And we started dating, and we ended up getting engaged and getting married. And I thought, oh, I'm a business owner now. It's so stupid. I was 17 years old. 17 years old. But there was something still I can remember about the thrill of being associated with owning a business. And they had 2 7-Elevens, and my husband managed one, and I managed the other one. And it was like, that's how I got my start in like retail. And I came up with systems for inventorying the candy section and the cigarette carton section. And, it was where I first started like being able to like innovate for retail. And it kind of just like got into my soul. And I went from there to, of course, I got divorced. That didn't go so well. Um, too young, too stupid. It's just too young, too stupid. But from there, and let's see, it would have been the I want to say early 90s, late 80s. I'm trying to think how old was Jordan was 2. Jordan was 2. So that would be, yeah, early 90s, early 90s. She says how old she is. It's all good. Hi, Julie. So hold on. Comments here. Let me see. Thank you, Mima. Free Slurpees for life. Yeah, not so much. Not so much. So I got into selling Avon, and I went through. I've told this story. I have a whole live replay that tells my entire life story. But I got involved with all of these kind of direct sale companies, Electrolux, Watkins, Party Light. Oh gosh, did Mary Kay for a very short time. And then Avon. I found Avon. And Avon kind of like, I don't know why, it just really resonated with me. Probably because they had all like the non-makeup stuff. They had jewelry and gift items and seasonal, and I just loved it. And so I started out with the whole door to door. Actually, back step just a little piece. I got my real estate license I think it was 1990. I got my real estate license. And I did real estate for about a year, and it was so heartbreaking. Real estate is and when you're starting out in real estate, it is a grind. Oh my gosh. I don't know how much I'm sure it's easier now with the whole age of digital marketing and everything, but back then it was door to door and cold calling, and just trying to connect with a neighborhood of people until you got one that wanted to list their house for sale. Like, it was building relationships. Because when you first start out, you don't get referrals because you haven't sold a house yet. And so I did a few transactions. I got my first house listing. I was so excited. I sold it. It was in escrow. We were down to the wire, and I was counting the money. Because, commissions are really, really good in real estate. 1 week before we were due to close, it fell out of escrow. And it just dashed my heart. And I was a single mama. And I couldn't. So, and then that's where then Avon came after that. But because of that, and I tell you that, but because of that, I knew how to canvass neighborhoods. I knew how to get the information on a block of houses in a particular area. I used my real estate schooling to further grow my Avon business. And then what I realized is, back then we had this thing called bulk mail. They still have bulk mail, like you get the catalogs and stuff. It's still a thing, but it was a much bigger thing for small business back then. So what I thought is, like, I'm going to work smarter, not harder, and I'm going to start mailing my catalogs. So, because Avon gives you the catalogs, you get them distributed, you stamp, you have to hand stamp or hand write on the back of every single one so people know who to call to place their order. So how to do that. And I started putting out about 1,000 catalogs every campaign. They called them campaigns, which was about 2 weeks long. think so. I think there's 2 campaigns a month. So 1,000 catalogs, hand stamp them, mail them out, get them out there. And that was really paying off. But now I've got the orders growing, and I've now got to fulfill and deliver all these orders. I hired a lady who started helping me get the mailings out, started helping me deliver the orders. And then I'm like, okay, how could we even scale this up more? Now, at the time, you could not get like a space. You could not be in like an antique mall, not antique mall, like a mall. Malls were a thing, back then. You couldn't get a kiosk or anything. You could not do retail. So I'm looking through going, wait a minute. What if I just had a point of pickup? What if I just had a place where people came to me to pick up their orders, smell the new scents, sample the new colors, look up the new goods, and they would place their orders and pick up their orders from this showroom? And that's what I opened. I opened the very first Avon showroom. And I was on a main highway, Whittier Boulevard in La Habra, California. And my grandma lived across the street. So she would watch the kids, and I would close up for lunch. I'd go over, spend some time with the kids, eat some lunch, get back across the street, and go and keep going. And I didn't need very much space for this. So I rented the back half of my little store to 2 guys who repaired VCRs. And so we shared the expenses and the overhead, and I just started getting out more and more and more catalogs and getting more and more and more orders. And we were doing about $150,000 in sales a year of Avon products. And that was awesome. Like that was really fun. It was fun. I got to tell you, because I got to merchandise, I got to display all the new stuff coming in and all the smellies. And then I would do a sample sale as well. When those things were like through, I would sample sale that stuff out the door. Well, Avon was busy figuring out how to stop this, because at the same time, they were also opening up. They didn't call it a showroom. It was a distribution center in LA. And they were then opening a showroom, but big, like big scale, but they didn't want me doing it anymore. And they knew it wasn't written into the current guidelines that this wasn't allowed. So they actually rewrote their policy because of what I had done. And I'll take that as a feather in my cap all day long. I caused a Fortune 500 company to change their user policy. So ultimately what they did was they shortened the time that I had to pay for the orders. And when this was like thousands of dollars, and you can imagine it took people a while to come in and get it. It used to be you had like a month to pay for everything. They shortened mine down to 2 weeks, and then they shortened it down to a week. And then they stopped me from being able to order any more product until that was all paid for, and pretty much just made it where it wasn't worth it anymore. So I'm like, okay, next. It's like, this is my life. Next. But that was a good time in my life. I really, really enjoyed it, and I enjoy coming up with new ideas. I really enjoy creating. And I think that's what I love about YouTube is like, I am known as a content creator. Like this is what I spend my time doing, is creating, coming up with ideas. I have a lot of ideas for 2024, a lot of ideas that I need to get into place and implement and figure out how to do. But I'm also learning that I tend to put too many things on my plate at the same time. And so that is my real goal this year, is to focus on one thing at a time. One thing at a time. And right now that thing is let's get the Good Stuff thrift store completely closed, turn in those keys, put that chapter behind me, and then move on to plan B. Now, the next chapter, and I've already talked about this a little bit, is oh, let me catch up with the comments because I sold Avon for 50 years. Started been going through my divorce too. Single mom, 2 daughters, and can make my own hours to fit theirs. Yes, exactly. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely. Avon was great. Mom used to sell Avon. Yep. I still have a soft spot in my heart for Avon. I see Avon bottles and I kind of like, oh, I wish these were worth more. Maybe someday. Probably not. There's a lot of them out there. But anyway, so the next thing that is happening, is in the works, is the further developing of the Niche Shopping Network. Many of you know Dawn of Hudson Vintage and I are partners in the Niche Shopping Network, and that is where I used to do the live sales and everything right here on my channel. That is all moved over to the Niche Shopping Network. So we've taken something that worked really good on a YouTube channel and we've dedicated a YouTube channel. It's that focus, right? So now the people that aren't interested in the live sales and that don't have to worry about that coming on to the channel where they just want to watch thrifting videos and get education on reselling. Now there's a dedicated channel, and then you shoppers have just a place, you know where to go. And if you love those, pretty soon, there will be daily content on that channel of live selling, and it's community live selling. It's hang out in the chat and talk to one another and talk about your passion. Each sale is niched or niched, however you like to say it, where there is a theme. And it's, so if you're not interested in art glass, well, then don't come to the art glass sale. But if you are interested in art glass, we're going to talk about art glass. We're going to talk about what it is, why it is, how to know it, how to identify it, what's the value. All of that good stuff is all going to happen over there. So that is one thing on the plate, that it was kind of a shift more than adding something. It was shifting something that I was already doing, but giving it more focus. And what's going to happen is we're going to bring on more resellers. That is happening this year. But we are being very, very careful, very strategic. We are still ironing things out. We may have something very exciting to share with you very soon. I'm not gonna give the spoiler yet, but we listen. We listen, we watch the comments, we listen to your feedback, what's working, what's not, and we are in constant improvement mode on everything that we're doing. Will I be able to ship to the UK? We're working on ways to do that. I got to tell you, Tricia, so here's what happens with the international shipping. And it's also why eBay has had to implement the global shipping program and the international shipping program, is because if something gets lost in the mail, or if a customer gets something that they claim is not as described, they want a refund. This is really, really a big ouch in the margins of a reseller, because now that item, we have to refund the item and the shipping, and the shipping sometimes is $20, $30, $40. So that is, there's no real protections right now for shipping overseas other than through eBay. So I think what I will be doing is cross-posting items over onto eBay for my international customers to be able to purchase things. That is kind of right now, there's no like third-party international protection. If somebody would come up with something like that, I would gladly open it up. But that is the pain point right now. Is while there are many absolutely amazing international customers, it doesn't take but one or two to really put a crunch in the numbers. So it's just kind of working around that, but maybe we can figure something out. Thank you guys. You know, I don't take your supportive comments for granted. I really, really, really appreciate them, and they keep me going. You know, What the Hales said something the other day that was very, very profound and very, very true. Is that 5% of the people that watch your content on YouTube are going to hate you. I haven't looked at the percentage, but I'd say that's pretty accurate. And 95% are going to love you. The problem is the 5% that hate you are going to hate you more than the 95% who love you. You get that? And it's so I read these supportive comments and I take them in and I remind myself, you guys are the ones that matter. You guys are the ones that matter. And I am focused on talking to you and providing you the information that you want and need. Yeah, so Deb says, I'm disappointed with eBay lately. They're cutting jobs. Thank you. A lot of big businesses are having to cut jobs. So I suspect what is happening. So let me give you a little history on eBay. I have been on eBay since 1998. I was one of the early adapters. I always used to say they made that for me. So what happened over the years and different changes in corporate structure and growth is that they went through a period where they hired contractors instead of employees. What that means is they would get people, usually from other countries, who would come to work for 6 months, a year, and very specifically work for a time period because the wages they could offer were incredible for someone coming from one of these other countries. And they're very talented, so they came in and they did a lot of IT because eBay, you guys, is classified as a technology company, not as like it's an online marketplace, but their main thing is technology and innovating, technology and purchasing other technology companies, and that's how they grow their portfolio. So they went contractor. Then I think it was like, time periods are hard for me to discern, but I think it was about, it was in the Devon Wenning period. They decided to go employee versus contractor. So and there's probably some financial benefit that they gained from doing both. But so they then hired all of these employees. And there's lots and lots of different areas in eBay where all of these employees are. So they hire employees, they stop the contracts, and now what you are seeing is eBay is now laying off about 1,500 employees, which sounds about like maybe they're going back into contractor mode, but they had a lot of extra working at that point. So it's just corporate structuring. And eBay, I think eBay's really struggling right now to find their place in the market. They haven't been super innovative. They haven't been on top of trends as far as, like they should have done what Whatnot did. eBay should have been the first video auction site. Can you imagine? They're just a little behind the 8 ball, shall we say, when it comes to doing things. And they always seem to be playing catch up. And I don't know what's going on in the inner works. I've separated from how close I used to be with eBay. eBay broke my heart several years ago. And I decided then that I wasn't putting all of my eggs into the eBay basket. But they are definitely struggling. Their stock prices say that they are struggling, have been struggling. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. They're kind of positioned for a buyout. I mean, that's kind of been some of the rumors. I mean, but honestly, that's that's the direction I see them going. Like somebody is going to end up buying them. I don't know who it's going to be, but they're kind of in that vulnerable state. What's disappointing to me, and maybe it's happening, I did see that one of the longtime executives is retiring, but they do have a lot of, I'm going to be nice, personnel in some top positions that are there because they've been there a long time, not because the position is super important. And I feel like some of these very, very highly paid employees should be the ones being asked to retire, so you can retain, some of the people who, like, are in a $40,000 or $50,000 a year income bracket versus hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. I look at it as like that one corporate position could pay for 4 people to keep food on their table. That's kind of, but I get it. Corporations have to do what corporations do. Am I using List Perfectly? Am I ever? Oh my gosh, you guys, List Perfectly has just really made some incredible advances in their technology. They now have auto delist. I don't have the list in front of me, but this is what I love about List Perfectly. And I personally know the founders, and Clara is actually an incredible mentor of mine and friend. And I listen to her closely because she's a very smart businesswoman. And the things they're doing are because of listening to their users, or listening to the people that use the product. And so they are delivering, always delivering more and more and more. So I am a huge List Perfectly advocate, and will continue to be. And I have been remiss in my cross posting this past year, but this is also March 1st is kind of that's my date. March 1st, I am ready to hit the ground running in my cross posting, my listing in general. I've got things going back on cherish.com, and I really want to build back my reselling end of things. YouTube really absorbed a lot of my time in 2023. Daily video is really hard. I don't know how I did it so long. But when you're doing daily video, that's a full-time job. And I didn't want that to be my full-time job. I want reselling to be my full-time job. And then I want to share that journey on my videos. So that's kind of where the balance is coming now. And I'm figuring out how to make that happen. And with that, and I do believe March 1st is going to be the start for this, I am going to start going live from my shipping room. And I'm hoping that I can do that each day. Again, it's like just me figuring out what that technology routine looks like. But it'll be like a Monday through Friday thing, because I try to give myself the weekends off of shipping. So like Monday through Friday will be live shipping in the Niche Nation all-in membership. So if you are part of that, that is coming very soon. If you want to be part of that, that is the middle level of membership. And then what I'm probably going to do is maybe put 1 or 2 replays over into the base level of membership after the fact. They won't be live. They'll be the replay you'll have access to. So those are some of the things that are coming forward, because I'm back to doing my shipping myself for now, and just getting a handle on how long does it take to do shipping, how much shipping materials should be getting used, and getting myself back to where I know what all of those pieces of my business are. Like just getting back in touch. 2023 was a hard lesson. It was a very, very hard lesson. The store, I won't call it a mistake. I don't have regrets in opening the store. I needed the lesson, and I needed the experience of everything that happened in 2023 in order to grow in 2024. And I feel like I am in such a better position going forward now. The things that I've learned, the ways that I'm learning to deal with situations, the way that I'm learning to deal with relationships and people, and 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 lessons in forgiveness, because I know a lot of us struggle with that, but really learning to just let go of things, like both tangible things and emotional things, and just it's a really really big year for me going forward with all of that. And then what I do is I take that, and hopefully in sharing my journey, it helps somebody else with their journey, because that's what means the most to me. You're so welcome, Kit. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough switching from the peanuts. I did ship something with packing peanuts the other day, though. I gotta tell you, it was that Murano pheasant with the big long tail. It was double boxed, and the inner box with the pheasant, I used the paper, and then the between that box and the outer box, I did use packing peanuts. I did, because I just wanted that cushioning. Yes. Hey, Julie. Yeah, let's all do it together. Let's do it together. Like, I like even years. I don't know what it is in my brain. I like the even number. So 2023 going into it, just I don't know if I kind of set my brain in that motion, but I kind of set into 2023 not liking that it was an odd year. I kind of felt like, ooh, 2023, it's an odd year. It's going to be wonky. Maybe I made that happen a little bit. I don't know. But I'm always happy for an even year. For some reason, my brain just likes it better. That is true, Therese. Absolutely. That's what everybody, we read it and we read it and we read it, that forgiveness is not for the other person. It is for us. It is for our peace. It is for our peace of mind. Yes. And this is the year. I'm just moving forward. Just moving forward. I am not a perfect person. I have made mistakes. I have not always been the best communicator. I have not always been the best boss. But I can't go backwards. I can't fix what's been done. I can only move forward, grow from it, learn to do things differently, communicate better. And those are all things I'm working on. I'm working on them as a person, as a human being. Yeah. Peanuts can't, I still am a believer in packing peanuts. I'm not anti-packing peanut. The reason I ended up switching is because I found no matter who was doing the shipping, there was just something about the mess left with packing peanuts. And it was always a mess, and it always messed with my brain, and it always got tracked into the house, where I started to be afraid for birds and guinea pigs and dogs and everybody, getting a hold of a packing peanut. Thank you, Laura M. It's going to be a great year. It is going to be a great year. Let's do it together. Niche Nation strong. It sounds so corny. But yet I believe it. I believe as a community, we are better than any of us individually. I absolutely, oh my gosh, there is the cutest little puppy walking right now. I absolutely could not get through everything I've been through without friends, without your guys' absolute positive, supportive comments and messages, and the notes I've gotten in the mail. And it really has kept me going. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the biodegradable peanuts. I'm not. If you're going to use a peanut, I want the cushy styrofoam. The biodegradables will melt, which is a problem. Because if they get any moisture in that package and they shrink, the whole purpose of the packing peanuts is to hold the thing in the middle in place and have shock absorption, and then you lose that. Is that a turtle? It's a porg. It's porg in my window, and he's like holding on by one wing. I don't even think I watched that Star Wars episode, but I love the porg. You know what? I have got to hold on, guys. I need to crack a window because it's getting warm in here. Okay, here we go. Hopefully it doesn't get loud. I'm just sitting in my car in a little neighborhood, just sitting here with a good signal. Yeah, for those coming in late, the store that I was going to go live thrifting at is closed. So we're making lemonade out of lemons, and I will do it next week. They are open next week, the 18th. Yes, soil armor. Yes, I believe that. I believe that. And another thing, Vicky of Katie and Vicky was posting that she is back to reading daily. And I'm like, you know what? I really want to read daily. I have a library of books that are exactly what I should be reading. So my new goal is to wake up in the morning, and instead of picking up my phone and getting on social media, I'm going to read for at least 15 minutes, maybe more if I like really, get into what I'm reading, because what I try to do is read at night and then I would fall asleep, and that was very frustrating. So I'm going to try to read in the morning, and hopefully I will have a little more. No, I don't have the car on. I'm not plugged in. I don't have it. I had to turn it to all our, what is it? Artillery for the window. Betty says, how do you become a Niche Nation supporter? So there should be a join button. Can somebody let her know where that is on, Betty, are you on a phone or a computer? It should say it right underneath the video. There should be something that says join, and it'll show you the 3 different levels that I have. My car is off. Yes. Yes. Audiobooks. Gotcha. Audiobooks are good too. Ooh, 6 books on Chihuly. Wow. I think, this is an interesting conversation. I see a lot of you saying people are starting to read more, get more into books. Maybe books are coming back. Maybe books should start, looking at books a little more as we're out thrifting. Thank you, My Place Fashion Boutique. Well, I really am seriously considering getting a space in an antique mall. So there will be a spot to, and then setting up a time, where I'm there. Maybe go there on certain days for those of you who happen to be coming into town and want to visit the stuff and meet and talk in person. Kind of like what Tiffany and I used to do at the Fantastic Vintage Market. Regency romances. I used to read romance novels. I did. I used to. I like nonfiction. I'm a nonfiction girl. I like to read things from like some of the motivational and business people, and learn something about how to be a better leader, how to be a better whatever, how to get over anxiety. Yes, I have anxiety. I get it bad. I get it really bad. I read a few ebooks a week. No room for more physical books, so it works well. Nice. Cozy mysteries. Ooh, mysteries. I think I will ever do a thrifting trip with Tiffany anytime soon. We're talking about it. As you know, Tiffany just went through like the most horrendous year of her life, and she's still working through that. It's going to take her a while, and she's really struggling. She needs your prayers. If you are a prayer warrior, Tiffany is an amazing, amazing person. And yes, we are friends. And she is just really grieving the loss of her mom. It's really been hard for her. Am I still going to do Whatnots? Yes. Whatnot is going to have its place in my business in that it's going to be more of like my clearance house, because I don't want to get to where I have so much inventory I need storage again. That is my goal. So I am going to have a process of it comes in, it gets listed in the niche lady shop first. It may go on the niche shopping network from there, and then it will go onto other sites. And then I got to set myself a time frame of, okay, at what point do I say it's got to go? It goes over onto Whatnot and it's out the door. A 10 by 10 space around where you are is $165 a month. You would have to sell that much just to pay the booth rent in a small town. I can't do it. I wouldn't say you can't do it. We pay about $300 for a 10 by 10 here. And while it is difficult, you can do things to market. You can draw traffic to your brick and mortar. Yes, she did. She lost her beautiful, beautiful mom. Yes. I'm hoping so, Diane. I'm hoping so. Yep. So the cycle will be, of course, there's going to be those valuable long tail items. Those are kind of like the things that go on to Cherish. And Cherish is more of my long tail decor, decorator items, things that are worth holding on to. Those are like the $50 plus items with huge profit margins. I'll hold on to those longer than I will say the $20 and under stuff that, I have a very slim margin in. So those are the items like, boom, I can take those over to Whatnot, do dollar starts and clearance. Yeah. Booth, it just depends, talk to other booth owners in there and find out, how the traffic is. That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm figuring out where the best place is in relation to the cost, and cost, not just in the cost of the space, it's your time. Too many resellers do not take this into consideration when pricing, when sourcing. Your time is worth something. So you have your cost of goods, whatever it costs to buy the item. You have your packing materials and what it's going to take to ship it. Buyers usually pay shipping, so you don't have to worry about that so much, the postage itself, but your materials, and then your time to source it, your time to clean it, your time to list it, your time to package it up. That is worth something. That's what you're trading, say, from a job where you make X amount per hour. Well, you need to make that X amount per hour working for yourself. So that margin is where that X amount per hour comes in. So you have to take that into consideration on those items that you're holding on to. If you're only going to make $1 profit, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. So you have to source smart so that you can, I like to say, triple your money. Now, the more expensive an item is, then you can reduce that. Let's say like $20 and under, I need to triple my money. Is it worth triple what I'm paying? When you get over $20, you can almost kind of look at double your money and be good. And sometimes when you get over even bigger than that, you can go even a little under that, but it's all about what that margin is. Thank you, guys. Thank you. We are streaming over on Facebook as well, so I'm reading some Facebook comments. Schnauzers, Madison wants schnauzers. I usually pick up breed-specific quality collectibles. Yes, that is Crystal Van Ho. I don't know, Laura M, if Tiffany is an only child. I do not know that. Thank you, Betty, for joining the Niche Nation. Yeah, Crystal moved to Georgia And she is back to doing her jewelry. She has an Etsy shop. She's also on Instagram. You can follow Crystal there and see the amazing pieces that she's making. I do still have a few of her pieces that I want to get sold for her so I can send her some money. Are you and Jordan having fun planning her wedding? I can't lie. Wedding planning is not fun for me. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. You know what I think it's, and I told her this personally. I think it's just that I have so much going on that adding like planning her wedding stuff is like, I told her, just tell me where to be, what to wear. Like, she says, are you gonna get your hair and makeup done? I'm like, I don't know, am I? You tell me, because I'm just gonna do what I'm told. So right now, no, I am going out there in a couple weeks to go do some live. She says she's going to make me try on dresses. I'm not a big fan of trying things on. Ask Dawn. Ask Dawn how much I balked at having to try things on when we were in Reno. I hate trying on clothes in a store. I hate it. I hate it so much. So Jordan's she wants to take me to Nordstrom's and have me try on like some bougie dresses. Yes, absolutely. Security, yes, is important. Yep. Theft is a thing. Theft is a thing. It's going to be a thing. It's getting worse, I think. But yeah, it's called shrinkage. Oh, it'll be filmed. That would be the only reason I would do it, is if it was going to be filmed. Yeah. I can be convinced. And I don't even like dresses. I don't like wearing dresses. I don't really want to wear a dress. I really kind of want to wear a nice like pantsuit. Is that horrible? Mother of the bride pantsuit? Can I do it? Yeah, and then we're just gonna go, we're gonna go thrifting. They just opened up a new Goodwill bins near her as well that she wants to take me to. Yep. Stealing happens. It does. Yeah, even when I worked at the 7-Eleven, it was a thing. Shrinkage was a thing. A silver pantsuit? Her colors, her colors are interesting. Her bridesmaids are going to be wearing black. Did I say she was bossy? I didn't say that, but I mean, you know. Yeah, they have a Salvation Army bins opening up here too, so I'm gonna go check that out. Classic black, yeah. And then she's got, I forget what her other color was. I think green. Oh, there's a Skywriter. I don't know they're riding because it's upside down. It is Super Bowl Sunday, and Super Bowl's here in Vegas. Project managers tend to be bossy. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Oh, comments are going fast. No such thing as a bossy woman. It's just a girl who knows herself. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I think it'll be beautiful. Picker Road. They've been putting out videos, but they are in Santa Barbara. I don't know when they get back. They have been at the Santa Barbara Film Festival. They are the videographers of that whole event, and it's a big deal. They're getting to schmooze with. I don't know, I think Brad Pitt was there this year, and I'm sure they're gonna like share all over on their channel. But I think they come home this week sometime. Oh, is it $10,000 a seat for the Super Bowl? It's a big deal for Vegas. You worried about out there when the show gets going and things get crazy? What do you mean? Sounded weird. What do you mean when the show gets going? You mean the Super Bowl? The Super Bowl is quite a distance from where I'm at right now. Not going anywhere near that craziness. Nowhere near there. Yeah, oh, maybe I should go to the strip tonight. All the people who could afford those tickets are all hanging out in Vegas tonight. I'm just saying. Gypsy Nurse Reseller, the store I was going to was closed, so we're just hanging out. I'll change the title of this and the thumbnail when I'm done here so that people don't get too confused coming over to watch the replay. There's a guy from Maine who is one of 3 guys left that have been to every Super Bowl. Wow. Wow. Yes, the private plane parking lot at the I still call it the McCarran Airport. I don't know why they don't just call it the Las Vegas International Airport. That would be a great name, wouldn't it? I mean, why do we give it a person's name and then that person is no longer relevant and then they change it to another person's name and they spend millions of dollars changing all the signage? Doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, that airport has a private jet parking lot. So that's where like the big wigs go because it's very, very expensive to fly your private plane into the main airport. There are 2 what they call executive airports, smaller private airports where a lot of the independent plane owners keep their planes and the jets can fly into there and then they can limo over to the Super Bowl. But it's full. They're all in town. They were in town for the F1 races too. Nobody really talked about that, which is interesting. Oh, that's cool, Mom. So she has a beautiful view of the strip from her home, and she sees the sky stuff. Nice. Nice. Do places bid for the Super Bowl? I don't know. I'm sure there's like, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure Vegas paid to have the Super Bowl here. I haven't been to the Sphere yet. I would like to see the Sphere too. It's kind of interesting. Take a metal detector and walk the strip in the morning. Ah, there's Harleen. She's between red carpets. Hey, Harleen, when do you guys get home? Actually, maybe you don't want to share that. I don't know. I'm so bad about like all this, like, don't talk about some of the stuff publicly stuff. But you can let me know privately. The Sphere is very pricey too. It was a pricey building to build. Like the technology in that thing is pretty intense, but it is cool. I never go to the strip unless I have somebody in town from out of town that wants to go to the strip. That's it. That's the only time I go to the strip. Locals generally do not go to the strip. It's a thing. We tend to stay away. Next Monday. Oh, I miss you guys. We have so much catching up to do. Yeah, the strip is kind of like you move here and you think it's like, I went, we used to drive down the strip. The kids love to drive down the strip, and see all the sights. And then it was like, we don't need to do this anymore. We're not coming to the strip. Oh, nice. Thank you, Gail. I'm getting happier and happier. I've got my moments of stress and panic and have to go into deep, like, oh no, now what do I do? There's been some of those moments this week, and I think I am getting to a place of acceptance of what needs to happen. And that is going to be that I just have to let go of a whole bunch of stuff. Um, which is not easy when you're a reseller because the value of things. Everything has value. That's the problem. Everything has value. I've been called a hoarder, which is funny because hoarders see value in things that don't have value. Hoarders hold on to things, trash and paper clips, and that is like a big difference between a reseller who's got a lot of stuff and a true hoarder. Now, are there the same kind of mental tendencies? Perhaps. But another difference is being able to let go, being able to say, I don't want to deal with this. And this is probably the third time in my reselling adventures that I've had to just do a mass let go and say, this is the stuff I don't have time to deal with, don't want to deal with. I'm going to pass it on, let someone else have the benefit of it. And I'm probably going to end up seeing it in places and being tempted to buy it again. But it's not, the things that, I have are not, they're not things that one would throw away. They are inventory. So now it's just in my head going, okay, can I deal with all of these $15 to $20 items? Or do I let those go and concentrate on the $50 plus items? That's kind of. You have hoarder neighbors, can't even get on their porch. They save every piece of trash, not anything of real value. Yes, my grandmother was a hoarder too. She was she didn't, like, you'd walk in her home and you wouldn't know it because the main areas of the home were clean, but every drawer, cupboard, nook, and cranny was stuffed with stuff. And she'd keep bread clips and rubber bands and pieces of paper. And yeah, so we come by it honestly. Yes, Diane, I sure can. I sure can. Oh, interesting, because usually you want to be in live chat. Live chat is going to show you all the messages. Top chat is going to just select what they want to show you. People back in the Depression kept everything. Correct. And again, the reason they kept everything is because they were in a state of not knowing if they were ever going to be able to have things again. And so we're kind of in a decade where that's happening to people also. It's there's a lot of financial struggles going on. And so you tend to hold on to things. You tend to worry about, will I ever be able to have this again? Yes, my grandmother was born in 1915. Yep, yep, yep. You are a jewelry hoarder. See, that's not the same thing. See, we use the term hoarder, a little loosely, and it's got a fun terminology here in the reseller community. And then it's got a very serious, mental illness terminology. Yes, it's a psychological component that they cannot let go. Yes. I'm not a hoarder. I'm not a hoarder. I can let go. In fact, it feels really good. Like I'm getting ready. Let's see. Oh, it's this week. Every other week we have our bulk trash pickup. And I had put a bunch of stuff on the side of the house thinking that I was going to have a purpose for it. And then it rained. And now I am just cleaning out that side of the house. It's going out to the trash. It's going to be gone. I'm going to clean my side yard. It's going to be done. And that actually feels really good. I love the dopamine rush from cleaning out an area like that. It is. I have glass that's hard to sell. I get it. I see your message there, Mima. So if you email me, my autoresponder has links to all the different places where I teach reselling. And there are some playlists right here on YouTube as well, where it goes into kind of, a lot of the basics, a lot of the how-tos and all of that. Yeah. And those storage units it was interesting. The first one was when I moved a few years ago. And that was my solution to just stuff that I didn't need to deal with right now, put it into storage. And then I kind of used it back and forth for inventory and such, but it was a lot of personal stuff. And then the next move, I did it again. And so I got the one next door to it was available. And so I got that one. And then when Tiffany and I moved out of the vintage market, we got a storage unit together. So at one point I had 4. And then I emptied 2 and I was down to 2. And then when I moved from the last house and I downsized, that's when I got the 3rd one again. And that one was pretty well organized with stuff that was for sale that was going to go to the store. So that stuff's been pretty easy to deal with. It's the first 2 that were a mix of personal and business and inventory and. It's where like all of my plush lived. When I closed my plush eBay store, all that plush was in storage, and I still have a ton of plush. Anybody want plush? It sells really good. But I don't want to sell plush anymore. It's a bread and butter item, and I want to, again, it's that focus thing. I can't run 2 eBay stores successfully right now. So I just want to focus on the one that's attached to all the other, I can list that stuff in every place that I sell versus having the very, very niched plush store. I still have boxes and bags of plush. Plush. I'm telling you, anybody needs plush. Anybody needs plush, man. I have got plush for days. That's good resaleable plush. It can go. It does ship. Oh gosh, shipping plush. That's why I love selling plush. Yes. Yeah. Anybody who's interested in plush, we can maybe figure something out. I'm putting my mouth out there to thousands of people watching, going, oh yeah, I can help. But I honestly, I don't know if I would have the time to box and ship, but I can try. I can try. And maybe Brenda would help. I don't know if she's on right now, but maybe we could coordinate something, because I hate for that stuff not to go to a reseller who could really use it and sell it and make some money with it. So maybe we can figure that out. High dollar plush. Yes. Yes. And it's all been boxed and bagged. It's not dirty or anything. You can't take it with you. That is true. That is true. Am I sending my kids to college or trade school? It is their choice what they want to do with their lives. Noah does want to go to trade school. And I am not paying for it. That's my belief system. Like, I will let him live from home rent free. I will support him that way. But if my kids want to go to college or trade school, they have to figure out how to make that happen, whether get their grades at a point and get scholarships. That's more Rachel than Noah, because he is already out of high school. But he really just wants to go learn mechanics. He wants to be a mechanic by trade to specifically work in the racing world. So, but I encourage my kids to pursue what they want to pursue, and I give that foundational support versus that financial support. And I do not encourage them to get student loans because student loans are just not where it's at. Like, I provide them ability to make money to pay for the stuff that they want. But that's my philosophy on the whole college thing. I personally, I think college is not as necessary as it used to be, unless you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a veterinarian, a pharmacist, something that requires that specialized degree. He does not want to be a chef as a trade. He just enjoys cooking. Yeah. Yep. Harry Tornado does sell a lot of plush. Yeah, he buys it for bags by the dollar. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Well, guys. Yeah, I try to give my kids the entrepreneurial gene, if you will, so that is something that they can always utilize in their life. Jordan always told me that she wasn't an entrepreneur. She wasn't an entrepreneur. She wanted a job. And yet, she veers towards the entrepreneurial, doing her own way of, even with the job that she has, she is still very much in charge of how she does that job, what she does with that job. So she's got it. She's got the entrepreneurial gene. He really loves his sim racing. He is working on something right now. Again, Noah's got a channel. He's the purple goose. He films both his sim races and his in-person races. And he is working right now. His sim rig is soon going to be a literal enclosed vehicle. That is what he's doing right now. So he wants to be sitting in a race car, and he is building that, and he's building it all himself. I saw Brenda's name. Is she? Oh, you were saying yes, Brenda, to somebody else. I wasn't sure if Brenda came in here. It's just in business, not sales. Not sure what that's an answer to. Yeah. Jordan is very, very smart. She is very confident in her opinions. We're actually thinking of doing a little something together. A little something, something. I'm not going to give details yet, but something that I'll put on the plate later in the year, because we tend to have some very, very deep conversations about current events, the way we think about different things. We are not always in alignment, but what we do or are learning to do is how do we talk about that like adults? And so we're actually thinking about doing a podcast. Would have really nothing to do with resale, but resale would be a part of it because that's, it's part of my life. Oh, no worries about the mix up in days. Yes, thank you. Yeah, this year is all about Jordan's wedding. It's all about Jordan's wedding. We were laughing, like the amount of time it takes to plan this wedding is about, like birthing a child. It's like, and I said, oh, we're in the morning sickness phase. I get it. Well, by all means, let those people know. I have a ton of plush and it has to go this week. Oops, I did not mean to press that. Aw. Yeah, Kelly, it was. It was about a year ago that we had the whole grand opening thing. Yeah, Gail, that's the thing. If I don't have the answer, I will not BS you. I will not make up an answer just to give you an answer. I'll say I don't know, but then I also will go try to dive in and find the answer to that. Because that I feel like is my superpower is I know how to find information, find the people that have the information, that sort of thing. So, but I'll never BS you on an answer. It serves no purpose. I don't want wrong information out there. I don't want to be a spreader of wrong information. So I will never knowingly put out wrong information. And if I do put out wrong information, I will correct it if once I find out. Yes, I love that she's doing a wedding by thrifting too. Believe me, I love that. Believe me, I love that. The first dress that she went and tried and was in love with was, oh gosh, it was thousands of dollars. And I'm like, Jordan, no, no, we can find you a dress at a Goodwill for $50. I'm telling you, there are gorgeous wedding dresses at the thrift stores. And now I've got her turned around to that. Now she's kind of like, okay. And she's doing all silk flowers. And thank you to everybody who responded to that very negative comment about using fake flowers at a wedding. Because yes, fake flowers at a wedding, why not? They live forever. And what she wants to do, she wants to buy thrifted fake flowers that potentially were used in somebody else's wedding and then use them in her wedding and then make sure they get passed on to somebody else's wedding and keep that whole little wedding chain going. That's the something borrowed. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. You thrifted much of your daughter's wedding, repurposed that. Oop, repurposed that at home and another wedding. Yeah, I love fake flowers. You know me. I love fake flowers and fake plants. It's my thing. And they wash and they never die. Exactly. Yeah, she's going to get it modified. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Right. And I keep trying to tell Jordan that one day it's not the amount of money she spends on the wedding that's going to matter. Does she have a certain vision? Does she want it a certain way? Yes. But it's not how much you spend to make that happen. And I think she's actually come around to that and is trying to do it all now. Thrifted and it's all going to be, oh, another cute puppy. Like glassware, and it's going to be all mix matched, and it's going to be pick your glass, so everybody gets to pick whatever glass they want. Yeah, fresh flowers. Yeah, they cost thousands, and then you throw them away. Exactly. Exactly. I know she said it. I really love when she says mom was right. You moms know how big a deal that is to hear the mom was right. Usually they end up saying it after we're gone. Yes. Creating a wonderful memory is the most important, yes. And she's going to definitely get that all planned out. I, on the other hand, am figuring out, see, this is my stress because obviously Noah and Rachel need to go to the wedding. How do I figure out how to get all of my creatures taken care of and kept alive for nearly a week? That is the question. Thank you, Melissa. Love being part of the Niche Nation. Photos were my most expensive expense. Oh, but she is so genius. Let me tell you what she did because I'm gonna. Okay, so she worked out a deal with the venue. Remember, she's a model. She's tied into the photography, videography, all of that, world, and she's a content creator. So she worked out a deal with the venue to create video that they then could use in their marketing going forward in exchange for a little discount. It was really brilliant. Yeah, I bought my wedding dress used. Indeed, indeed. Uh-huh. Glassware from someone else's wedding. Exactly. Yep. So true. Yeah, it's for me, there are trust issues. I need someone that I can 1000% trust. Because literally, there are things that like the heater going out on Goody's Pond. Like if that didn't get caught, I mean, that could be devastating. A tortoise gets flipped upside down. Somebody needs to be there to flip the poor thing over. So there are things that I have to be able to count on someone. So I need to find somebody who can stay in my home, I can trust to stay in my home, and all of that. So there's a lot. And the saltwater aquariums have a very specific feeding, like it's a pretty intense feeding ritual, for all of the creatures. We have to tong feed the eel. We have to tong feed one of the triggerfish because, well, I think it's just spoiled. I think it could come out and figure out how to eat now, but it went through a period where it was blind. So we had to put the food right in front of his face. Well, now he's like spoiled that way and he won't eat otherwise. Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, I need to start working on that sooner than later because I want to be able to travel too, and I don't want to always burden the kids, with the huge responsibility. I want to be able to have somebody who can, you know, come in and help them take care of things. A zoo major in college. Not sure we have any zoo majors in Nevada. I don't know that they have that as a major here. Yeah, every time I go away, I do. I worry. I know this is terrible. I worry more about something happening to the pets than the kids. The kids are pretty self-sufficient. I trust them. Like they know emergency procedures, for things. That's what I mean by that. Not that I love the animals more than my kids. I'm just going to clarify that. But the animals are very dependent on everybody else. I mean, I just had to take a guinea pig to the vet. When a guinea pig starts showing signs of illness, you don't have days, you have hours to go and get treatment. And fortunately, she's okay. She turned the corner very quickly. But had I been gone for a week, that could have resulted in something much different. I don't think UNLV has a veterinary. There's very few veterinary schools. There's UC Davis in California. There's Colorado State. There's another one in Pomona. There's one in Texas. Ask me how I know, because I was going to go to veterinary school, unless they've added it, recently. Yeah, see, I don't trust agencies. I don't. I like that's the route I won't take. Because I mean, there's horror stories of things that can happen when you just bring somebody in that you don't know, and so I will look for a friend. Lots of doggies go for walks in this neighborhood I'm sitting in, which is nice. Nice to see people walking their doggies. Oh, nice. UC. I was going to go to UC Davis, but then I was okay. More Danny history here. I was going to go. I was serious enough about going to become a veterinarian that I had researched all the schools and I wanted to go to UC Davis. And then I worked with a veterinarian. I was an intern for her when I was a vet tech. And she went to Colorado State, and she was telling me the differences between Colorado State and UC Davis. UC Davis, very scientific. If you want to learn, all of the more of this scientific end of veterinary medicine, that's the place to go. If you want to learn more of the, how did she phrase it? Not that you don't learn the science in every veterinary school, but they're more focused on the practical elements of a veterinary practice. And so that's when I started shifting to like, okay, well, I want to go to Colorado State. I wanted to be a large animal vet. I knew that and all of that. She was a zoo vet, which was really fascinating. Some of her stories, like the tiger that woke up from anesthesia while she was working on it, showed me the scars. Yeah. I've had a great life, you guys. I have had my turmoil and problems and challenges, but I've also had a pretty incredibly blessed life with lots of experiences. And I really wouldn't change one thing. It's got me to where I am in life. It's made me who I am. It's made me have empathy and compassion to others going through the things that I went through. So I don't regret my life. I use it as this is what I'm given to work with, to pass on to others. That's my view. I just might be doing that, Stella. I might be in the process of writing a book. Another thing on my plate this year. Yeah, indeed. Hey, it's time. I've written a book before, but it was more of it's how-to books. I wrote how to buy at auction houses for fun and profit. I co-wrote the Savings by Store book. I wrote that with Kat Simpson, and we basically made a book of every place, every discount, every little hidden secret that you could find out there, both in used and in new retail. And then I have also co-written a book. Oh gosh, that one I kind of buried that one because I wrote it with 19 other women. There was 20 of us. And I'm just going to say this in the gentlest way I can, but I don't approve of some of the methodology that some of them taught. So I didn't promote the book. Besides watching me for picking and learning, who else would I recommend? Well, if you want to learn about jewelry, Dawn Hudson Vintage is her channel, Hudson Vintage. Watch her videos. She is who I'm learning jewelry from, and she has not steered me wrong yet. No pressure, Dawn. No, and it's not it. And here's the thing: it's not just what Dawn knows. It's the fact that she learned it and continues to learn it from a passion that comes from being a collector. That's the thing. You want to find people who are passionate about the information they're putting out there, because that means they took the time to really learn what they were talking about. There's a lot of people out there who have maybe developed a channel because they saw YouTube was a way to make money. And so they come out and start trying to teach about everything. So just do your homework on their histories, their success, and what that is. There's lots of people there's people out there I don't even know yet that I'm sure have incredible information to share. So I can only tell you who I watch and who I learn from, and go from there. I do think Harry Tornado is an incredible business person. He is selling things in the lower profit margin range, which isn't really what I teach. So I'm not saying his information is bad. I'm just saying it's not the same philosophies that I have in reselling. I teach you to go for higher profit, bigger margins. My main focus is on vintage, recognizing vintage and collectible and that kind of thing. And his is bread and butter. His is really, truly bread and butter. He mainly has most of his business now on Whatnot. So it's quicker flips, faster selling, but he's a brilliant, brilliant business person. And I go to him for advice on business related things all the time. They are very nice people, him and Haley. Haley is just so adorable. So Harry Tornado, you can learn a lot from. Um, who else? I can't even think. Like I watch so many. But just, watch for someone who was a reseller, a successful reseller before they went on to YouTube. And now YouTube is like the secondary avenue. That's a good gauge. Chores. Fun to do chores. Yeah, I can't believe I sat here and talked for almost 2 hours, you guys. But I have the gift of gab, I guess. Ooh, doggy's barking. Yeah. I'm staying very aware, you guys, I'm staying very aware of my surroundings. So I'm no surprises. It's pretty safe here. It's pretty safe where I'm at. I have met Karen of Lavender Clothesline. I have to admit that I don't watch her channel. I don't get a lot of time. George. Oh, George. How can I forget George? Oh my gosh, yes. You guys. If you have any interest in antiques and vintage, please watch George the Antique Nomad. Oh my, how could I forget George? Yes. I have had the very great pleasure of shopping in person with George at an antique mall. He is just a fount of knowledge. And I always say, George not only knows what stuff is, he knows why stuff is. And that comes from his passion of wanting to know that information. I love treasure craft because of George. He wrote a book about treasure craft that is so informational. So yeah, absolutely follow George. My friends in Florida, I have a lot of friends in Florida. I am thinking you're talking about What the Hales. What the Hales? What the Hales focus has not been a whole lot on reselling lately. They got a little bit of drama going on. They have a really crazy stalker situation. Yeah, if you want to get into that whole, it is kind of like a real life soap opera. It really is. And they buy from storage lockers. So they will go through storage lockers, show you everything that was in the locker, but they don't really give values or anything like that, so it's more just, entertainment. George knows a lot. He really does. He really, really does. I'm reading your comments, guys. Oh, really, Gail? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I just want like a quarter of George's brain. I just I learn about something in the moment, and my thing is like I remember how to tell if something is quality and if it's good. I don't always remember the specifics. I have to go back and I have to research it and I have to look it up. That's a big difference is I just don't retain all of the particulars about the companies and the history and where he has all of that knowledge that just it's just there. And I'm like so in awe of that. I do try to learn something new every day, though. Really do. Oh my goodness. So, almost 500 of you have sat here with me for almost 2 hours just talking about stuff. See, that's what I love about this reselling community. Love it, love it, love it. Obviously, there are some topics that I just don't care to talk about anymore. So if I don't answer a question, it is about something that I have had to leave in the past. Just forgive me for that. Florida is scary? Oh. Oh, okay. So you're talking about what the Hales, George, not George Antique Nomad. So yeah, it is not a great situation. Yeah. But I assure you that George is well taken care of. Yeah, Jeremy is not going to let something happen. Trust me. Yeah. They are very, very smart people. Also, very, very smart business people as well. I'm hoping I get to go out and visit them again soon. I'm working on it. All right, guys. Well, I think I am going to go and get a U-Haul truck. I think that's what I'm going to go do. And I'm going to get some stuff moved. And I'm going to feel like I accomplished something good today. So let me leave you with this, because I want everybody to do this. This has been so, what's the word? It's making a difference in my mental state when I go to bed at night. And it's something that I was always told I needed to do, and I never did it. Never did it. It's been grilled into me. Several people have told me this is what you need to do. And I was kind of sort of doing it with checking off my, what I call my to-do list each day. You know, I don't make a to-do list, I make a to-do list so that I can check it off and go, ta-da, which is kind of the concept that I'm going to teach you right now. And I want you all to start doing this if you're not already. Every single day, look at what you've accomplished. And it may not be more than you got up, you got dressed, you brushed your teeth, you made yourself some meals, whatever that thing is that you did in the day. Focus on that being your win and say, I did this and it was enough. It was enough. I got through this day. Because what we tend to do is should on ourselves. I should have done this. I should have done that. I should have done more. Right? Okay. I know I'm speaking to some of you. I am bad at that. It doesn't matter how much I get done in a day. I look and go, oh man, I wish I should have done this. I wish I could have done this. And I always focus on what I didn't get done instead of all of the things that I got done. So I want us all, every day, look back at our day and go, sorry, I heard footsteps. I was just seeing where those were coming from. Every day, say, I did enough. And congratulate yourselves for what you got done, not what you didn't get done. Because one thing about this life, tomorrow is always another day. It's always another day. It's always a new beginning. It's always a fresh start. And the things that we think are so mightily important, when you look back, you probably don't even remember them. They weren't that important at the end of the day. So everybody start doing that, okay? Be good to yourselves. Be kind to others. Let's take 2024 by storm. And I know some of you are saying go Chiefs. I'm going to say go 49ers and have a very, very happy son-in-law, future son-in-law. And with that, everybody, go be profitable and make it fun. And thank you for being here.